Do you avoid talking to strangers, giving public speeches, or even going out to larger groups because the tension feels overwhelming? Do you wonder why others seem so relaxed while inside you're battling a wave of stress? Today we'll talk about a condition that affects more people than you might think. Social anxiety and phobias related to interacting with others. Step by step, I'll show you what you can do to feel more confident in these situations. I'll present both practical approaches and natural methods which, when used consistently, may help restore inner calm. Before we start, please remember that the information shared in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any changes to your health routine. Social anxiety is a very broad phenomenon. It can involve public speaking, group gatherings, or any situation where worry about interacting with others arises. If you struggle with social phobia, you may feel intense stress during contact with others, and it can be hard to manage. This stress can build to the point where it feels overwhelming. Over time, you may start avoiding any situations that trigger it. It turns out that nearly 13% of the population experiences some form of social phobia. So what can we do to improve this state or even reverse it completely? Let's start with methods that don't rely on medication. First, try redirecting your attention away from yourself. In moments of anxiety, we usually focus only on ourselves. You may start thinking that everyone is watching and judging you. That kind of self-focus only increases stress, which may, in fact, draw more attention and strengthen the cycle. What can you do? Try focusing on someone else in the group. Instead of worrying about what others think of you, remind yourself that most people aren't nearly as focused on others as you imagine. That belief exists mostly in your head. Another point, even if someone really is watching you, that doesn't mean you need to be perfect. Nobody is. If you feel judged, remember that doesn't mean you have to be flawless. Third, the anxiety you feel inside is usually far less visible than you think. What you experience internally often doesn't show on the outside. It's also helpful to engage more fully in the conversation. Listen to the other person and respond to what they're saying instead of getting caught up in your own negative thoughts. Next, it's important to work on eliminating certain ingrained habits. One of them is predicting that the situation will end badly. People struggling with social anxiety often assume everything will go wrong and that they'll be at the center of something unpleasant. Another habit is fortune-telling, predicting that something unfavorable is just about to happen. But think about it. How do you know that? Can you be certain the outcome will be bad? That's just your imagination. Reality usually looks very different. The chance of a negative ending is often very small. Here we should highlight something important. Stop personalizing. That means stop assuming others are focused on you, especially in a negative way. Another key point is breathing. It may sound simple, but in moments of fear or tension, your breathing tends to speed up. This can disturb the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide, which may intensify symptoms like shortness of breath, muscle tension, dizziness, or excessive sweating. That's why it's worth learning a simple breathing technique that can help in stressful moments. Sit comfortably on a chair, relax, and place your hands on your knees. Slowly inhale for about 5 seconds, pause for about 3 seconds, then exhale gently for 7 seconds. That longer exhale is especially important. Practice this regularly, and you'll find it easier to manage tension in difficult moments. And here's another crucial point, the so-called deep water jump. What does that mean? Even the best techniques are just support if you don't start facing your fears. The key is not to avoid difficult situations. By confronting them, your mind learns how to respond and function under stress. The more often you expose yourself to situations that once terrified you, the easier they become. But you don't have to dive straight into the deep end. Start with small steps. For example, if you're afraid of public speaking, don't begin by giving a speech. First, attend an event as an audience member. Sit in the front row, watch the speaker, and imagine yourself in their place. This way you get used to the atmosphere and audience reactions. With the thought that next time you could be the one on stage, keep taking small steps to prepare for your own performance. The most important thing is to stay consistent and patient. Coping with anxiety is a skill you can practice. The more you train it, the better your mind will handle it in the future. Finally, let's ask, How can we naturally support these techniques so results appear faster and last longer? One way is lavender, used in different forms. You can add lavender oil to a bath, use it for aromatherapy, or make a tea from its leaves. Lavender contains two key compounds, linalool and linalyl acetate. These have calming and soothing effects, which may be especially helpful during intense stress, such as panic attacks or social anxiety. Let's look at what a scientific study says. Title: Lavender Oil in Anxiety Disorders. The conclusion states that lavender oil has many beneficial properties. It calms, does not cause dependence, and its use is not linked to tolerance or withdrawal symptoms. Another plant is ashwagandha, also known as Withania somnifera. Several studies used doses ranging from 250 to 600 milligrams daily. It was shown to help reduce stress and tension. It's important to note, though, that this effect may appear only after about 2 months of regular use. So consistency and patience are key. Those expecting quick results may be disappointed. Regular use of ashwagandha may also help lower cortisol, the stress hormone. Additionally, many people taking it regularly report better sleep quality, which further supports the nervous system in stressful times. Now, a few words about another plant, passionflower. There are many species, but here we mean Passiflora incarnata. In 2010, a study compared its effects to anti-anxiety drugs from the benzodiazepine group. It turned out that compounds in this plant have similar effects and may help with strong stress or social anxiety. It's important to remember, however, that benzodiazepines are not suitable for long-term use, as they can be addictive. Passionflower can be taken, for example, in tablet form. It's also worth mentioning CBD oils, which may be part of a natural approach to reducing tension and anxiety. I'll discuss their properties in more detail in the near future on this channel. Finally, chamomile. It also has calming effects and supports better sleep. Like other natural remedies, its effects may take time, sometimes up to 3 months. Studies indicate that a daily intake of about 1,500 milligrams may bring noticeable benefits. That's all for today. I hope this episode was helpful, and as always, I invite you to the next one. If you value reliable information about natural ways to support your health, without promising miracles but grounded in facts and research, click subscribe. That way you won't miss future videos that can help you better understand your body and make informed choices.